And I'm going to do a little meditation to begin with. So we know that the 5 elements, earth, water, fire, air, and ether, right? And as much as we can get to, I don't want to say get to know them, but I guess I do mean that, but as much as we can bring them into our lives, so that we can understand how it is that earth, water, fire, air, and ether are there to balance us and support us. So in the 80th verse here, it says, this space is good. That space is bad. This space is good. The ride is rough or the going is smooth. We are thrown into suffering. We are thrown into joy. Beloved soulmate, find the space in the center, the pulsing spaciousness encompassing all opposites. Here, the essence of creation are at play: earth, water, fire, air, and space, and the senses that perceive them. The center is the dancing ground. So close your eyes for a moment. Close your eyes. Let me go ahead and mute you. And I want you to begin to sense space. And you could just internally say this if you'd like, or just listen to me say it. Above me is endless space. There are many, many dimensions within, we call them the lokas, or the many worlds. So above me is endless space. See what you can feel and experience there. And below me is endless space. Travel into that. Below me is endless space. Behind me is endless space. Behind me is endless space. And in front of me is endless space. And to my left is space, and to my right is space. And within me is endless space. And the beauty is when we begin to see ourselves as this, then truly the labels that we give to ourselves are also endless and open. And our stories matter. They're very beautiful, open, endless, many dimensional, many, many lokas. And maybe if this does serve you at all, take a moment each day to say to yourself, above me is endless, below me is endless, behind and in front of me is endless space. To My left is space, to my right is space, and within me is endless space. And see how you can live in a way that you are that open and infinite. Bring your hands together at your heart center. Inhale for the sound of Om, deep breath in. Release your hands and open your eyes. And come forward into child's pose, please. Thank you guys, everybody, for being here today. I have 6 people in the studio here with me. I have 27 of you here online with me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Above is endless space, below is endless space. Well, I know for many of us, we need to really find that earth energy, for so much space can often seem overwhelming. But to know the lokas, to know the planes of existence are many. You come on up to your hands and knees and begin to cat and cow. Move your spine through cat and cow, rounding, curling, breathing. Maybe let your mouth slightly open. Let your jaw relax. Find the space in the throat. Jaw relax. See how your hands feel as they're held by the floor. The next time you round, just stay there for a moment and breathe. Next time you touch your chin into your chest, just stay there and breathe. And then press back to child's pose again. I forgot to announce that we are doing a 3-day soup cleanse next week, Tuesday through Thursday. And the reason I decided to do it is so many people have said to me, if you make the soup for me, I'll do the cleanse. So I'm making the soup. Josh and I are going to make the soup. So if you want to be a part of it, I would definitely sign up ASAP because we are going to sell out. Good. Come on up, downward facing dog. Bend your knees deeply here. Lift your seat high to the sky. Get your heels to lift up, your knees to bend, and then scoop your low belly up. Pull your armpits forward slightly, nice. And then press your legs to straight. Beautiful. And then take a walking meditation. Walk your feet to your hands, standing forward bend. See that your heels are right behind your second toes. And bending your knees again to come out of that sense of pushing, but becoming lighter. Widen your inner thighs a lot here. Pull them wide. And then begin to straighten your legs slowly by pressing the tops of your thighs back. Clasp your hands behind your back. Bend your elbows, shrug your shoulders towards your ears. And then start to take your arms up and over any amount. Nice, Nancy. Good, now bend your knees deeply, swoop your arms forward and up, come into chair. Let those hips go way back. That's it, nice roll, yep. Hands down onto your thighs and cat-cow here. Press your thighs down a lot. See what happens the wider you take those sit bones. And then notice every time that space appears in your body. So you get to know this as space. Good. Slide your arms up and alongside those ears. Rise up to stand. Take a baby back bend. Reach up and back. Push your thighs back. Nicely. Yep. Rachel. Good. Bow forward. Exhale. Good. Left leg back behind you. Drop the knee to the mat. Inhale the arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Bend your elbows. So as your elbows bend, sweep them slightly forward. And as they go slightly forward, lift your chest, pull your navel in and lean back. Great. Nice. Linda, keep your chin slightly tucked. Hi, Pam. Touch down, hands to the floor. Bring both hands inside of that right knee. Lift up your back knee and walk your hands to the upper left-hand corner of your mat. Get long. Even off of your mat. Keep walking until you come onto fingertips. And then lift the armpits up. Good. Make sure that knee is still pointing at that second toe. Great. Good, Gwen. Nice, Ronnie. Good, Ellen. Nice. And then just walk your hands back in and walk to your left until you come to the center of your mat. Turn your feet so they parallel each other. So you're facing the long side of your mat and bow. Good. Watch yourself falling too much into your inside of your foot or the outside of your foot. Good, Elisa. And then take your arms behind you, clasp your hands, bend your elbows, shrug your shoulders towards your ears, and then take your arms up and over any amount. Release your hands down to the floor. Step back to the front of your mat and then plank pose. Think of taking that pubis bone up toward the ceiling. Lift up, which will widen your sit bones a lot. And then go slightly past your wrist, lower all the way down to your belly. Take your hands to the corners, to the sides of your mats. You're still in line with your rib cage and lift up into cobra. Come on up. So space, space, space. Yeah, and twist right and twist left. Great, Kathy, downward facing dog. Nice. Beautiful, Eileen. Great, Sharon. Breathing in and breathing out. Left foot steps forward. Right knee on the mat, Anjaneyasana. Bend the elbows. Again, slightly bring the elbows forward so the armpits move back. There's a hollowing. Good. Send that knee forward. Drop the pelvis a little bit more. Lean back. Great, Rachel. Inhale deeply here. Exhale, hands down to the floor inside your left knee. Lift your back knee up. Walk your hands forward to the upper right-hand corner of your mat. You can drop your head here if you'd like. And breathe. Seek out the elements above and below and all sides. Good. Walk your hands in just a little bit. Walk to the right until you come to the center of your mat. Legs are nice and wide here. So take your arms forward now into a wide-legged downward facing dog. And again, be aware of that evenness on those feet. Let your space get wider by breathing a little bit deeper, a little longer. Really nice, everybody. Lift those hips as high as they'll go so the spine just continues to get longer and longer and longer. And then walk back in, walk to the front of your mat, come back to plank pose. Good. Lift up as much as you can without coming out of plank. What does it feel like to rise up into the space above your back without losing plank? Really good. Go slightly past your wrist, lower all the way down. Take your hands to the edge of your mat, right in line with your rib cage. Come on up to cobra. Move those shoulders. Move those hips. That's it. Move that neck. Good. Nothing stuck. Nothing stuck. Nothing. Nice. And yep. Great, Nancy. And back you go, downward facing dog. Nice, Sharon. Angela. Downward facing dog. Step your right foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1, first warrior. Bring your back foot in enough so you can drop your heel. Make sure your back foot is turning so your hips stay square. Right foot forward, warrior 1. Good, now clasp your hands behind your back, but notice where you tighten. So get your shoulders to lift, hands clasped behind your back, let your shoulders lift, and then bow into the space inside your knee, bow forward. Shoulders lift. Arms up and over, any amount. Let your head touch the space of the floor. Go, 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 go. And hands down to the floor, downward facing dog. I love when I give you permission for your head to touch the floor that it goes a little closer. Good, left foot forward, Vera 1. Left foot forward, warrior 1. Really all it is giving ourselves permission to feel that there's more. The many planes of existence, all the lokas. Good, clasp your hands behind your back. Shoulders, head of those shoulders up and back. Inhale, big breath in. Exhale, bow forward. Good, head to the floor. Arms over your back. And touch down, hands down, downward facing dog. Nice adjustment. Beautiful. Yeah, use any straps as you need. Good, right foot forward. Left knee on mat, Anjaneyasana. And then take your hands and place them on your right knee and press your right knee forward. Pull your shoulders back. Good. And I know it seems early, but we're going to get into some big thigh stretching today. So if you can, take your left hand back to hold your left ankle. Bring your left foot off the floor. Keep your front knee bent. So you're still in your lunge, Anetta. Yep. But you're reaching back for your back ankle. Maybe put a blanket underneath the back knee. If you're not reaching for it, knees on the floor, you're reaching for your ankle, Gwen. Yep. If you cannot reach for it, feel free to just take your arms alongside the body. Good. Sweep your right arm up to the sky. Turn your right palm forward. Pull back. Draw that heel in toward that outer hip. Remember, you're digging that left knee down and drawing it forward. Nice, Marin. And then release here and put your hands down to the floor. Straighten your front leg so your back foot touches the floor. Straighten your front leg, Ardha Hanumanasana. Make sure you're in half Hanuman. Don't go to the full, even though some of you want to, and clasp your hands behind your back. So you got to work on digging that front heel down and back, getting the shoulder blades on your back. So you go internally to allow yourself to find balance here. Lean forward, Andra. Lean forward if you can. Yes. Dig that heel down and back. Clasp your hands behind your back. Good. Gently release, downward facing dog. Right, so especially in Hanuman, you know, there's so much extension happening there that you got to draw in, forward to plank, lift up, go higher here, and then slightly past your wrist, lower all the way down to your belly. Rise up into cobra, or maybe press the arms to straight and come into upward facing dog so the knees lift off the mat as well. Knees up too. Good. And downward facing dog. Left foot forward, right knee to the mat, Anjaneyasana. And then place both hands on your left thigh, press it forward. Pull your throat back. Good. And then either keep your hand here or reach your right hand back for your right ankle, thigh stretch. Make sure the knee isn't directly underneath the hip. That's not going to feel good at all. And then press your right butt cheek back as much as you can. Then lift up that left arm. Lift up, lift up. Left outer armpit back more, more, more. Ouchie, Ralph. I know. Those are rough. And release the hands down to the floor, straighten the front leg. Ardha Hanumanasana, pull that leg, front leg to straight, dig the heel down, draw it back, and clasp your hands behind your back, bow forward. And lift those shoulders a lot, a lot, a lot. That's it. Nice, Rachel. Good, Carolyn. Yeah. Gently release, downward facing dog. Everybody, super nice. Take it through vinyasa of your choice or none. Resting in child's pose is lovely. Good, downward facing dog. Roll forward to plank pose. Either drop your right knee down to the mat for Vashisthasana, change it up a little bit, or stack your left leg on top of your right leg for Vashisthasana. Either way, dropping your bottom knee or stacking your left leg on top of your right. Bring your left arm up to the sky and then bend your left elbow and lean back. Take your back bend here. Lean back, lean back, lean back. Good. Drop that hand down to the floor. Switch sides. Nice, Susan. Switch sides. Great. Bend your right elbow. Pull back, lean back. Good. Touch down hand to the floor. Beautiful, everybody. Downward dog. Nice, Pam. Downward facing dog. Inhale that right leg back and up behind you. Down dog split. Bring your heel to your butt. Open up, stacking your right hip on top of your left. Good. And then some of you want to go ahead and flip your dog. Take that right foot all the way to the floor behind you, taking your right arm up to the sky. That's it. And then bend that elbow, reach back, open the chest. Good. Take your right hand down to the floor. Good. Inhale your left leg back and up behind you, down dog, split heel to your butt, open up. Pull your navel in and then flip your dog. Breathe in, breathe out. Open that chest. Nice. Yeah, some of you I know could even go all the way back to a back bend here. Good. And release down to your knees and press back into child's pose. So I love this story. This is from my Braiding Sweetgrass. It said a master degree, a doctor, reminded me of a story. She was a plant scientist, armed with his books and notebooks, was exploring the rainforests, and he hired an indigenous guide to lead him. And so the young guide took him to all different species and told him all about the different species of plants. And the botanist looked at him, surprised at his capacity. Well, young man, you certainly know the name of a lot of these plants. And the guide nodded and replied with downcast eyes, yes, I have learned the names of all the bushes, but I have yet to learn their songs. Love that, because when we become more spacious, we don't want to know just, what someone's name is or or who they voted for. We want to know their stories. That's when we have more space. We don't get trapped. Downward facing dog. Have space above and space below. Can you lower down to your elbows in one swoop? Down to your elbows in one swoop, but keeping your knees up. So you're in downward dog. You're just taking your elbows to the floor. Stay in down dog. Lift your hips high. And then can you press back to straight arms? Moving from your armpit chest lift. Can you do that one more time? Can you lower down to your elbows? Nice and slow. And then lift back up. Good. Walk or jump to squat. If you cannot squat, you could come into chair. And close your eyes and find the spaciousness here. Breathe in and breathe out. Space above and below, the space at the center. Good. Bow forward, standing forward bend. Nice, Jen. Hands on your hips, push down through your legs, rise up to stand. Take your arms alongside the body, close the eyes, and just feel. And you open up the space so we don't have to stick and stay with labels. You knew all the names of all the plants, but didn't know their song. Open your eyes and reach back for your right ankle, preparing for Natarajasana. Reach back for your right ankle. Left arm to the sky. Feel as if your right knee is pushing down, so the whole front of your thigh is drawing downward to the floor, but your low belly is drawing up. Your sit bones are staying wide. And then instead of coming parallel to the floor, keep looking up toward the ceiling. Keep your eye gaze up as you start to kick your foot back. So you can bring your right thigh as far back as it will go, but keep reaching up toward the ceiling. Keep reaching up, spread your toes, and don't let your knee float out to the right, pointing back. Beautiful. Outer armpit, move it back. Left outer armpit, and then come on down. Always breathing just a little longer on your exhales. And then try the second side. Take your time. What do you fill your space with? Take your time as you lean forward and up, kick your foot back. Beautiful. Come on back. Okay, hug your right knee into your chest. Now stretch your legs straight ahead of you and hold underneath that thigh. Hold underneath the hamstrings. And then pull your shoulders back as much as you can. Lift your chest, draw your navel in. Flex that foot. Try not to lean back. Even, I know this is almost impossible, but take your right butt cheek back just a little bit more. There you go. Good, now take your arms up to the sky. And lower that leg back down. Great. Second side, please. Again, as you take that leg up, watch that you don't lean back, like you're not falling back. Take your left butt cheek back a little bit more. Stretch that leg to straight. Press down into that hand. And then take your arms up to the sky. Nice, Angela. Pull, pull, pull. As if the overhead is lifting you higher. Good. Lower the foot, sit back into chair. And then go ahead and feeling as if your navel's pulling it up, lift your left foot up off the floor just a little bit, just raise it up a little bit. And then put the left ankle on top of your right knee. And then clasp your hands behind your back. Keep that left foot nice and flexed and lean forward. Good. Now reach down and hold that knee and ankle and come up to the standing, lifting that shin up. So that shin is reaching right across your midline, maybe your belly. So lift it all the way up. And then hand your left foot to your left hand and take your left foot out to the side like a half frog. Good. And then maybe some of you begin to straighten that leg out to the left, but keep the inner thigh moving back and wide, back and wide. Open your chest and release back down. Good job, Lisa. Lisa was smiling too. Some of you probably had a very serious look on your face. Good. Come back into chair. Lifting your right foot just slightly off the floor. And then crossing your right ankle on top of your left knee. Clasp your hands behind your back. Get your shoulders to draw back a lot. Lean forward. Get your butt way back. That's it, Maren. Really nice. Good, Linda. And then go ahead and reach forward. Take a hold of your knee and your foot. Lift up. And then hand your foot off to your right hand. Half frog here so you get space. You can even lean forward a little bit here. Draw your navel in. Nice. And then stretch that leg out to straight any amount. That's it, Sharon. That's it. Nice, Eileen. Everybody in house, beautiful. And release back down. Great, Annetta. Okay, so here's where you will want a wall if you can. And I know I might lose some of you on my screen, but that's okay, just for a minute. If you have a wall, go pull your mat up to it. Because what I want you to do is I want you to slide your left shin up the wall. So face toward the front of your mat, face the front of your mat. You're gonna do Anjaneyasana with your shin up the wall. So a lot of you guys have done this with me many times. So still face the front of your mat and take your left shin up the wall. That's it. Left shin up the wall and right foot forward into a lunge. Yep. So Jen, you're just going to turn around and face the front of your mat. So no, turn around the other way. Good. And you're going to slide your left shin up the wall. Yep. Put your knee on the floor. Left shin up the wall, right foot forward, and then take your arms up to the sky. Yep. So I want you to play, and I'm going to call some of you out in a minute because I know you're not getting what I'm saying. But I want for you guys are all good in here. It's a pretty intense stretch, right? So play between keeping your hands on the floor and lifting your hands and even up to the blocks. That's really good. Play with moving your hips back and moving your hips forward. Good. Let me see who's losing it. Yeah, so Alan, you're just putting your shin on the wall like we've done a million times here. Nancy, your shin goes to the wall. It's like you're in a lunge, Anjaneyasana, but you have your left shin up the wall. Yeah, that's it, Nancy. Yep, I got two Nancys here. And then Maren, you don't have a wall, is that the problem? Or you just don't want to do it. Good. And then those of you who have your hands free, take them up to the sky. And at least you can even bend your, bring your hips forward, bend your, yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. Good. Okay, come on out of it and change sides. So fun, right? So good. So good. If you're thinking it's not good, let me tell you, it's so good. I'll help you. I'll walk you through the emotion you're feeling right now. Ecstasy. Good. Keep pressing the foot into the wall. If this is really torturous, the other thing you could do is tuck your toes. If you tuck your toes, it will lose a little bit of that torture. So Nancy C, can you bring your front foot into a lunge? Or no, that's impossible. That's it. That's it. And again, move your hips forward, move your hips back. Great, 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 great. Nice, Jane. Breathe, 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 breathe. Great, Angela. Andrew, I think you're going the wrong way. Your back foot should be on the wall, not your front. All right, release. Downward facing dog. All right, enough of that. You know, we've been doing this Zoom thing long enough that it's worth trying crazy things every now and then. Forward to plank, lower all the way down to your belly. Come into Sphinx pose, please. And just breathe deeply here. Keep your navel drawn in. Feel how you can extend through your legs and your toes. And again, always come back to the space of the throat, right? So you're not overly pulling your head back and shortening behind your throat. Good, take your left forearm, parallel it to the front of the mat, reach your right hand back for your right ankle. Thigh stretch. Should be easy, somewhat, kind of. Drag your knee down to the floor and draw that heel toward your outer hip. Again, don't force. Lift your chest a lot. Breathe a lot. And then gently release, still squeezing the foot in as you let it go. All right, so you're still in the pose. Change sides, please. Right, if for some reason your knee is absolutely not happy with you doing this, you can always just click the heel back without reaching your hand back for it. Spread your toes here. The action of your toes spreading is pretty darn beautiful. Nice, and then reach back for both ankles, come into bow pose, pulling the heels away from you. And then release and relax, turn your cheek to the side. Something so simple as seeing how space appears in your life today. Aware that you're filling your space with non-essential things. Space above and space below, space to the side, space within. We do these cleanses because we want to give our body its space back. You know, there's so much happening in the world energetically that we want to connect. We want to connect, to elevate. It's very difficult if we're full. Our meditations, our connection to source, how I always speak of sitting with divine counsel, is very difficult to do if you're full. Turn your cheek to the other side. Feel your back body above your back body. Good. And then come back into the Sphinx pose. And again, be aware of how you're holding your arms, right? The arms, and you can even take your elbows out a little bit if you want to create more space. But what I want you to start to do is walk your hands forward and lift up until the elbows come off the floor, till your elbows lift up. Yeah. Elbows up. Yeah. Yep. 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 All the way up, straight arms. Yeah. Powerful legs. Powerful legs. Feel the back body, draw the rib cage in, and then lower all the way back down. Press back into child's pose. Take a breath. And then Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward facing dog. And stepping your right foot forward, open up to Virabhadrasana 2, second warrior. Try to drop that thigh nice and low to the ground, but lift the upper body as high as it'll go. And then place your right forearm onto your right thigh and press down to that thigh to get space in that right rib cage. So you're lifting up and away from that thigh. Take your left arm over your ear. Beautiful, everybody. Push into that back leg. Don't lose that back leg. And then float forward into half moon. Forward, maybe using a block if you have one underneath your right hand. Lift your left leg up. Reach back for your heel and bring your heel towards your butt first, as if you're doing a thigh stretch. And then pull the heel away from you if you'd like, and open the chest into a back bend. Open, open, open. Nice. And then as you step back very sweetly, come into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Straighten that front leg, both legs straight. Nice. Yep. Be aware of your head. Head in line with spine. Release your hands to the floor, downward facing dog. Nice. Very beautiful. Great. Left foot forward, open up Virabhadrasana 2. Yes. Widen those sit bones. Left forearm on left thigh. Press down to lift those left ribs higher up, and then reach that upper arm over your ear. Good, Audrey. Beautiful length there, space. And then float forward into half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. If you'd like to reach back for your ankle, and if you do, take the thigh stretch first, pull the heel in. Yep. And then from that, reach it out, taking it into more of a back bend. Breathing. And release slowly back into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Nice, Elisa. Beautiful. Lana, so pretty. Touch down, nice and downward facing dog. Take it through vinyasa of choice or none. So here comes another crazy, try something that nobody's going to understand what you're saying, but you know, keeps me interested in myself. So you're going to be in down dog, and instead of coming forward to plank, it's more of a down dog plank. So let your heels just drop to the right side of your mat. Let your heels drop to the right side of your mat. You try to stay on your feet, on your whole foot, and then stack your left leg on top of your right, because now your left arm is going to reach back and try to hold your left ankle. So you're going to reach your left arm up. So you got to fall onto your heels. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah. Lisa, on our end, Lisa's doing it. Yeah. So you got to really be in down dog legs more than in Vashisthasana legs. Yeah. That's it, Ronnie. Good. Try the other side, or do something completely different. That was great, Andra. Completely different. Yeah. Push up into that standing foot a lot. Yes. Good. Yeah. Good. I know. I can't even help you. Okay. Downward facing dog. I'm sorry. So let's see, Angela. So you've done this before, Angela, where you stay. Go ahead and drop down to your knees and rest for a minute. But Angela, let me see if I can talk you through it just so you can try it. So come into down dog. And you guys can try it again if you want to. Or everybody can watch Angela. Good. Now drop your heels. Drop both heels toward the right. Yeah. And now stack that left leg on top of that right leg. So your whole right foot is planted. Yep. Now take your left arm to the sky. So maybe that's it. Take your left arm. Yep. If you want to reach back for that ankle, go for it. That's it though. Good. All right. Everybody downward facing dog. Nice job. Thanks, Angela. Downward facing dog. Nice. Right foot forward. Lower the back knee. Anjaneyasana. So you have a lot of choices here. You can stay in Anjaneyasana, or you can reach back for that ankle with both hands. So lift up that back heel and reach back with both hands. Pull those shoulders back, lean forward into your front knee. Strap is great. Yeah, if you have a strap, you can even take your arms over the top of your head, which is really delicious. Keep thinking of lifting that chest up. Nice, Jane. Shoulders look perfect. Good. And if you're holding on to that foot with both hands, start to bring that heel back behind you. Start to bring the heel like it's going to drop down to the floor. Yeah. 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 Good girl. Yeah. Okay. Downward facing dog. Yeah. So if you lose it and you fall out of it, that's awesome. Left foot forward, Anjaneyasana. You're going to have a great Shavasana, I promise. Left foot forward. Come on, it's a rainy day. All right. If you'd like to reach back for that ankle with your strap or with both hands or not at all. Beautiful. Nice, Josh. Keep the knee moving forward, chest lifting. And then the idea of this pose is to start to bring your heel back as if you're going into a one-legged camel, reaching that foot back. So you're going such a deep, deep back bend here. That's it. Keep moving the knee forward and you got it. Yep. Yeah. And release, downward facing dog. Take a little jump to squat and then lie on your back, hug your knees into your chest. Beautiful, everybody. So sometimes when we do this practice, we just keep going into deeper and deeper forms of something, right? So here obviously would be back bending. Your thighs are way open, really excited to go into a deep, deep back bend. So plant your feet, but also the possibility of taking a block, lifting your butt and putting your block underneath your sacrum as a restorative back bend, may be just exactly what your body is asking for. So maybe read your space right now and see what you would like, and maybe prepare to come into full wheel, placing your hands by your ears, arching up your spine, drawing your navel in and reach up into full wheel, or maybe place a block underneath your sacrum, or maybe do a little bit of both. For those of you coming into your full back bend, push your heart toward the back of your mat and push your knees toward the front of your mat. And then everybody come on down and rest. Either if you're on that block, stay there. If you are in full back bend, feel free to come on down and just rest. Try not to hug your knees in yet. With your knees bent, breathe deeply. Constructive rest. If you're on the block, again, you're welcome to stay there. If you have no block underneath, you hug your knees into your chest. And then again, if you have the block, it just feels so good. So stay or come into happy baby pose. Press your low back into the floor. And then bring the soles of your feet together on the floor. Let your knees drop wide. Feet on the floor, supine Baddha Konasana. And again, go into that place where you invite the space above and the space below, space behind and the space in front, space to the left and the space to the right, and space within. Breathe it. The more we expand ourselves, knowing that we are many planes of existence. How funny we are as human beings to think that this is all there is. To expand beyond names and labels, to know the stories of the ancient ones, the ones that walk in the angelic form. You may stay here, or if you'd like to take an inversion, now would be the time. If you're close to a wall and you haven't done legs up the wall for a while, it actually feels really amazing. You want to come into headstand, handstand, forearm balance, shoulder stand, or again, stay right where you are. Keep breathing wherever you are. Just one more minute here. And as you feel ready, begin to lower yourself back down, either from your headstand or your shoulder stand. Those of you who did legs up the wall, you're probably really happy you did. Sometimes I forget, right? I'm like, some of the simpler things that we do is so powerful. And then as you feel ready, come on up to sit, comfortable seat. Get to know each other's songs, get to know nature's song, give it space. Okay, we're going to do alternate nostril breathing. Speaking of something that's so simple that we don't always do. Making a gentle fist with your right hand, extend your thumb and your last two fingers, closing off your right nostril. You can always take your pointer and middle finger and place it at the third eye. That's perfectly fine. And then inhale through the left nostril, close the left nostril off with the ring finger, maybe pause at the third eye, and then exhale through the right. Inhaling through one nostril, pausing, and exhaling through the other. To experience ourselves as earth, water, fire, air, and ether. To see ourselves as space beyond time, being timeless. And then next time you exhale through your left nostril, release your hand down. We'll just take a couple of minutes in silent meditation, silent space.
You can stay here or come down to lie on your back for Shavasana. If you do come down to lie on your back, feel free to take a spinal twist. Ever so gently begin to deepen your breath.
Let your body stretch and yawn in any way that serves you well. If you're lying down, go ahead and hug your knees into your chest and roll up to sit. Bring your hands to your heart center. Inhale for the sound of Om. Sliding your hands to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you again, Sheryl.
Of course. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Sheryl. Have a
You're
great day.
welcome, Sharon.
Thank
Have
you,
a
thank
beautiful
you.
day,
You too.
everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome, Linda.
Bye.
Goodbye, angels. Have a great day. Go play in space.
Thanks.
Have a fantastic.
Thank you. Mwah.
Bye, Audrey.
Bye.
Bye, Ann.